Hello, my name is Nicole Schill from exactEarth here in Cambridge, Ontario, and I'll be your host today. I'd like to start by saying good morning or afternoon to everyone who's joined us today, and we appreciate you giving up your time to join us as we explore all things satellite AIS. We're very excited to host this webinar today as we're set to spend the next 20 or 30 minutes learning about the latest offering from exactEarth, density maps. This webinar is actually the fourth in our series of webinars we'll be hosting aimed at educating people about satellite AIS and all the applications it has across the maritime world. So today we will explore just how useful density maps are for conducting in-depth vessel pattern analysis. I'm joined here today with Bruce Winter, our Density Maps Product Manager. I'll be walking you through the basics of density maps and how they apply to the world of satellite AIS, and then Bruce will take you through building different types of density maps to suit your needs. So before we begin, just a small favor we ask is that if you have microphones, to please mute them for the duration of the webinar so that everyone can hear us clearly. And if you have any questions throughout, please use the chat window to submit them. At the end, we're going to reserve a few minutes to try and answer as many as we can. Also, please use the chat window for any technical issues you might be having, and our team will work to resolve them ASAP. So it looks like we're ready to get started. So I'd like to welcome everyone to our latest webinar in our growing series. Today we'll be introducing you to our brand new offering here at exactEarth, Density Maps. But before we dive into the new product, we wanted to give you a quick overview of our satellite AIS technology so that you have a better understanding of where the data is coming from that we'll be using to create these density maps. Here at exactEarth, we use a growing constellation of low Earth orbit satellites to span the entire globe, picking up AIS messages that ships are regularly transmitting. We then make sense of all those messages at our data processing center and then send on the satellite AIS data to our customers worldwide. We deliver that data to over 100 customers all around the world who use it to daily perform maritime operational activities such as vessel monitoring and tracking, environmental and fisheries protection, search and rescue missions, as well as defending borders and security operations. The range of applications for satellite AIS grows all the time as our customers find that the data is more and more valuable across a whole host of activities for monitoring the shipping traffic on our oceans. What we've also discovered is that many of our customers have been using our global data feed and our 4 years of historical data to create a series of density maps in order to perform in-depth vessel pattern analysis. That's the focus for this webinar as we explore the many benefits for using density maps to make sense of shipping traffic patterns and walk through the basics of pulling a density map together for your needs. So first, let's get a bit of a background on what density maps are and what they're used for. Mapping density shows you the concentration of features per area, and they're useful for showing general patterns. Density maps can be used to portray all sorts of world data, including population, natural disasters, or even crime incidents, all shown above. These maps are a quick visualization of data to make sense of it all in an easy way. So say you wanted to know where the majority of people lived in the USA. You'd probably end up with a lot of charts and figures from old census data. But then you can use that data to create a population density map that would quickly show where most people live in the USA. Cities or states that had the most people would be represented with what we call hotspots, and you would normally also see a legend on the map kind of color coding the zones by levels of population. In deciding how to go about putting your density map together, you first want to consider what kind of data source you have to figure out how best to plot it on the map. But luckily for us, we have exact AIS data from exactEarth, so we can easily create density maps of the world's shipping. Mapping density is particularly useful when you're trying to compare data in areas of greatly varying sizes, just like our world's oceans. Exact AIS data is unique because it gives us a complete view of the world's shipping, even in remote areas of the globe. So you can be sure that you're getting the most comprehensive and accurate data available on the market. Also unique to exactEarth is our 4-year archive of data. We've been collecting data since July 2010 and we've kept it all. So what that means is that you're now able to get packaged data for your specific analysis needs. Say you want to look at the worldwide shipping traffic and analyze some local traffic patterns for the month of August 2013. Well, actually it's best to see this in action as we walk through the steps of creating a density map using our global data from August 2013. So I'm going to hand you over to Bruce at this point for a more hands-on demonstration. Bruce?
Thanks, Nicole. For this demo, we'll be performing the analysis in Esri's ArcMap product for desktop users. This is a GIS software that allows users to perform spatial analysis and produce maps. We will show you how you can view, analyze, and take away information from the exactEarth density maps. Our analysis today will review the global vessel density picture. Looking at this map, it is very easy to see the vessel traffic corridors with higher than average shipping traffic, represented by the dark orange and red cells. Now that you've had a chance to see the global shipping density, let's zoom into a smaller region of the world, an area around Japan, and we can take a closer look at more localized shipping. Once this area of Japan is rendered, using the Identify tool, we can analyze specific cells that may be of interest. For example, this cell saw 232 vessels transit through it in August, made up of 13 fishing, 0 passenger, 206 cargo, 9 tanker, and 4 other vessels. Whereas this area of higher traffic shows 1,222 vessels have transited through it. Let's take a look at another area of the world. If we zoom into an area like the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, we can see a much higher level of tanker traffic than the previous cells around Japan, with 283 of the 496 being tanker vessels. By reviewing other cells in this region, we can see the variability of tanker versus cargo traffic depending on the origin or destination of the vessels. As verified by this density map, we are seeing a much higher percentage of tanker traffic in and out of the Persian Gulf. As we look at the Gulf of Mexico and review one of the higher density cells, we can see there is roughly an equal mix of cargo and tanker vessels. We can also see that there are some very low density cells, with only a total of 9 vessels transiting through it in the month. Like we saw in the Persian Gulf region, there is some significant variability in the tanker to cargo vessel ratio depending on the destination or origin of the vessel. Now, if we want to review the map density by a subset of particular vessels, we can easily change the visual properties of the map to show cargo vessel density, for example. As we select any individual cell, we can see that we don't remove the counts of the other vessels, but purely change how the information is represented on the map, such that the highest level of cargo vessel density appear in the dark orange colors. Similarly, we can visualize the map density of passenger vessels by using the same technique as we just used for the cargo vessel analysis. As expected, there are many fewer vessels than cargo or tanker ships. However, by switching to this type of visualization, we're able to narrow in on where some of the highest or lowest concentration of passenger vessel traffic was located for this month. Now, if we zoom out to a global view while staying on the passenger category of vessel density, it is easy to see where the densest regions of the passenger traffic are worldwide. We can also see some passenger density regions in regions where we may not expect, like the Arctic. If we now switch the map properties to display the density based on fishing and stay at the global scale, the map will quickly visualize the concentration of fishing vessels worldwide. It should not be surprising that we see a significant map density in regions off of Argentina, Spain, France, Iceland, and the South Pacific. If we switch the visualization of the map to tanker traffic, the density clearly outlines the tanker traffic routes from the southern US, Venezuela, around South America, South Africa, and in and out of the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal. As I switch back to the total count of vessel density and highlight some of the interesting traffic patterns throughout the world, I hope that I've been able to demonstrate to you the various ways that an exactEarth density map can identify specific trends. Analyzing these trends over a period of time, a year for example, will provide even more insight into what's changing and what's staying constant with the worldwide vessel traffic patterns. There you have it, a complete density map for our look at the worldwide shipping traffic. I'm sure you can imagine that there are tons of useful applications for density maps. Our exactEarth archive is spilling over with data ready to be used in establishing patterns of vessel behavior and traffic patterns. So on that note, I'll hand things back over to Nicole and we'll answer some of your questions that have come in.
So now you've seen how easy it is to create density maps for the world shipping. We're very excited to be rolling out this new product, as we know that many of our customers have been using our global data feed or our archive data to create a series of density maps to be used performing in-depth vessel pattern analysis. So these map products will be available in quarter by quarter degree cells, broken down by month and your area of interest, and will provide total vessel counts by cell, as well as by a subset of vessel types, either cargo, tanker, fishing, passenger, whatever. But if this format isn't exactly what you're looking for, you can also let us know and we can easily create your very own customized density map. So at this time, we did have a few questions that came in during the webinar. So we're going to try to get to as many as we can. If we don't have time today to answer your question, we will follow up with all of you through email after the webinar ends. So don't worry, you will get your answers. So our very first question asks, I'm looking for a density map that includes the ship's flag. I didn't see that option in the demo. Are you able to provide a density map by the ship's flagged country? Bruce?
Thanks, Nicole. Yes, we can do that quite easily. The demo that we showed during this webinar included a pre-generated data set for sake of ease that was broken down by 5 different ship types, but we can certainly manage customized density map requests. Even if you wanted a localized density map with a higher resolution because you're looking at ports or smaller areas like a marine protected area, a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer grid, for example, we can easily provide that as well.
Okay, awesome. Our second question asks, they were looking for a density map data going back to 2012. Are those available?
Yes, they are available. We can generate density maps going back all the way as far as our archive, which starts in July of 2011.
Okay. Next question said, you did the demonstration using a GIS program. They wanted to know if they need a GIS program in order to use density maps.
That's actually quite a good question. The answer is it depends. If all you want to do with one of our density maps is print or use it for reference purposes, then you won't need a GIS program, as the maps actually are available in what's called a GeoTIFF format, and they can be viewed or printed without any GIS program. However, if you want to do some in-depth analysis on the map itself, like what I showed in the demo, pulling up the number of cargo ships and doing comparisons between vessel types or flags, then you'll certainly need a GIS program to load that map.
Okay, it looks like we have time. We're going to do one more. So this question asked, I'm interested in monitoring ship traffic around a series of marine protected areas. Do I need to buy your global data or can I just get it for a small area? As well, I'm interested in getting the previous month's density map delivered each month. Do we offer that service?
Yes, to both questions. You can define your area of interest and whether you'd like to purchase this as a one-time occurrence, or if you'd like the previous month's density map delivered to you every month. We're able to do both of those. We're very flexible in this matter for sure.
Okay, great. So we're going to wrap it up here. If you wanted to learn more about density maps or any of our other products and services, please do visit our company website at www.exactEarth.com. And thanks everyone for joining us today.
Our oceans are a vast and important part of our planet. They must be protected and monitored. One of the biggest impacts on this vital element of the planet's ecosystem is man. This makes monitoring shipping, our most obvious impact on the oceans, critically important. But there are a lot of ships out there. Monitoring is easy when ships are in view, but over the horizon, who knows what is going on? Ships around the world use AIS technology to communicate with each other and avoid collision. We can listen in on these conversations. exactEarth uses the most advanced satellite technology to give you an unrestricted view of the whole ocean, globally, overcoming the limitations imposed by ground-based systems which cannot see past the horizon. We track the greatest number of ships and deliver the most comprehensive data available to provide a detailed insight into maritime traffic movements. This is what we do. This is our world. A world where there are no horizons. With the largest dedicated satellite network available, we track the greatest number of ships to deliver the most complete maritime picture.
About 8 years ago, we became aware of the global AIS system and the opportunity that provided if only those signals could be received from low orbit. So we decided to put these two things together and conceive of a microsatellite-based system that could receive AIS signals from anywhere around the world and thereby do global ship tracking. The exactAIS system provides a new global maritime data set, a capability which has never existed before, not only to track where they currently are, but where they have been for the past weeks or months. This is really all about bringing microspace technology together with the internet and creating a bold new vision for a global data service.
We have the longest track record and are the most experienced leaders in this field. When it comes to maintaining your trade and security, rescuing those in distress, or protecting the environment, you can't afford to make mistakes. Customers around the world rely on the best information available, ours. With each satellite pass, we gather more data and deliver it in formats that fit existing systems. The information you need to make the best decisions now.
Within Australia, one of the major benefits of using satellite AIS is to help us maintain a picture of the traffic that's within our search and rescue region. Australia is responsible for 52.8 million square kilometers, or approximately 1/10 of the world's surface. This means that we need to keep track of vessels at a long distance from our coast. The terrestrial AIS network provides us with good coverage around the coast out to about 50 nautical miles, but beyond that, we need to have other ways to track vessels. Satellite AIS can also be used to identify vessels of opportunity to go to the aids of vessels in distress. Over time, the benefit of AIS can be increased because we have a database that we can then analyze and use to do trend analysis and confirm that the aids to navigation that we have placed around our coast are actually providing the best possible service to the mariner.
The comprehensive picture of the world's shipping. At exactEarth, we see more than just ships. Welcome to our world, a world without horizons. Welcome to exactEarth.